What was the revenue per year?
We're doing, anywhere from 1 to 1.5 million. I'm like doing sales already. So in my brain, I was like, I can't see myself doing this for another 3 to 5 years. So let me just do fix and flips. And I got really heavy into fix and flips. Just, I was buying like 3 or 4 fix and flips a month. And every year I was just doing more and more. In real estate, I can see myself doing this forever. It's like I'm not good at it. So why even participate? I'd rather invest my energy and time into things that I could scale and be the best at.
I think this is a big mistake a lot of people make is they pick something that maybe they think other people value, right? Like I remember when I was growing up, very conservative family. The whole thing is like, oh, you become a doctor or an accountant or something like that, you'll always have a job.
Right.
So originally when I was in high school, I loaded up on all the science courses and shit because I was like, oh, I'm going to be a plastic surgeon. Like the richest guy in my neighborhood with the biggest house is a plastic surgeon. So that's what I'm going to do. And then throughout high school, I realized I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
I hated all these science courses, but I was really good at the side hustle. So I think you shouldn't try to become good at what you don't love or what you're not the best in the world. Instead, what you should do is try to figure out what are you uniquely qualified to be the best in the world at, and also something that you absolutely love, and then just go all in on that.
Yeah.
By the way, I've never asked you this, and then I don't think anyone else knows. Your childhood, your socialization, were you middle class, upper class? How were you raised?
I was the poorest family in the richest neighborhood.
Got it. So you were still at least probably
Good
upper middle
neighborhood.
Class.
But like shouldn't have been in that neighborhood.
Understood.
We were the house that should have been on Investorlift.
Right. The worst house on the best block.
Yeah, similar for
the
us.
Wensleys.
Like my mom, I love her to death, and I'm so thankful, now that I'm older, because my entire family really taught me work ethic, right?
Yeah.
So she would work 16-hour days, manual hard man labor, and with no days off for months on end. At the refinery in Toledo, and
hard work.
She did that because she didn't want us to go to school in the ghetto. She wanted us to go to the best school in town, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't live in the nicest house or in the best, of whatever, but my mom made a good enough money for us to go to, better schools.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful for that, not just because, we didn't, grow up in the ghetto, but I think I'm so thankful that my mom kind of taught us the ethics of work and hard work and doing honest work and things of that nature. Because, man, I see it now where it's just like, I remember when I was like in the field at 18, 19 years old, and people were complaining because they'd have to work like 5, 6, 7 hours. And I'm like, you fucking bitch. My mom's working right now 16 hours in a fucking refining tank or in a tank at a refinery.
Yeah.
And so it was just like, I was always kind of like, I never, built excuses around my head. It's like hard work was just like irrelevant to me. It was just like, be the best and work, as much as you can and as hard as you can. And then everybody else kind of like developed a lot of these excuses in their brain for whatever reason. I was just comparing them to my mom. I was like,
were you raised in a single parent household?
Yeah, I was.
Got it. And then do you take care of your mom today, fast forwarding?
Yeah, my mom, I'm super blessed to have her. It's just, it's like always my goal. It's everybody's goal to, eventually retire your mom. I remember specifically and vividly, she sent me a picture and her hands were bleeding. And I was like, holy crap. And at that time, when you have an opportunity, it's just like, I'm going to take it up a notch because, this is a
Hands were
huge
bleeding
motivation.
from working. So
Exactly,
much
right? And it was like my mission. I was like, I remember sending my mom a text message. I was like, you no longer have to work anymore. Now you're moving to Texas. And it's been a long time since then. She's married now and traveling and working and stuff like that. So she's just enjoying her life. But man, it's just like when you have an opportunity to do something and help your family, it's just mind-boggling to me when people just don't take full advantage of it. For sure.
There's nothing more rewarding than spending money on the people you love.
Exactly.
I agree.
Yeah. All right. So you're doing sales. You realize that that's what you're uniquely have the drive and the love and the skills to be the best in the world at. You're doing door-to-door cable sales, doing really well. What is the transition to? And then you did the cars. What how did you figure about real estate? Like, and how old were you?
I was I was 20 years old and. Me and my business partner, or my old boss, became business partners in the door-to-door world. And at that time, I was developing sales teams. It wasn't just me being a salesperson. So it was kind of like our mission is like, how can we open as many sales offices around the country as we can? And at that time, everything's about timing, right? Being at the right place at the right time. And AT&T just bought DirecTV, and they gave us a contract where we were literally walking into bars and restaurants and upgrading their services because they already had DirecTV, combining their bill and upgrading their internet, and then saving them like half on their bill. And so we got blessed because we had that contract because we were really good at it. And me and my business partner, we made millions of dollars, right? So it's just like,
At 20. You're
yeah, I
20
was like
years
20,
old.
21 years old.
And are you in college at all, or
No.
you just said straight to business?
No, school of
It
hard
would
knocks,
have
baby.
been a waste. It would have been a tragedy if you wasted 4 years.
Well, it's just like a lot of my friends went to school and, joined fraternities and sororities and did the 4 years and then eventually graduated. And I was already, 4 years deep into direct sales.
Yeah.
So
And so
during
that
this
was, like,
time
my-
period,
my
I like just
education.
really getting histories for people to relate, because there's a lot of people that are going different routes.
Yeah.
Were you into the party scene? What was Donnie like?
I mean, being
Don like
young,
at
yeah,
20?
it was like-
Or are you just chasing the dollars and hyper focused on stacking
I was
money?
chasing the money. I was
Okay.
chasing the opportunity. I was chasing, being the best in that field. And obviously, when you're young, you have fun. I'd
Yeah.
be,
Yeah.
down the street here in Scottsdale with bottle service with a $4,000 tab with the rented Lambo up front.
Yeah.
Just, having fun,
You're young,
but
you-
entertaining my teams.
Parking right next to Robert with the Lambos and the $250,000 bar. That bar tab, by the way, is never
$250,000 bar.
$250,000
tab.
bar tab.
Not talk
Yes.
about ever again.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I screwed up.
Jesus.
I thought the bartender
No, you
said
made money.
$1,700 per bottle. It was actually $17,000.
Oh my God.
And yeah.
What's up,
But
man?
you know what? We actually made a lot of money that night.
That's right.
Jesus.
We actually ended up net ahead. We built a lot of relationships. Those relationships,
Spend the money to make
there's
the
still
money.
customers today. Spend the money to make the money.
That's right.
But it was a little excessive. But you know what? You got to blow off the steam. You got to get out of your system.
Gotta let it go.
Yeah.
That's
sometimes.
what I think. You like everyone when you get money. Like Lars, a guy on my team, he's actually my brother-in-law now. He joined my sales team. He was doing door-to-door sales, selling alarm systems in Norway, the safest goddamn country in the world. He did I think it was like $2.6 million in alarm systems. Him and his team that he managed, similar to you, building a door-to-door sales team.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I need this guy on my team.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, why don't you come out to Dominican Republic to visit your sister? He didn't realize as I was trying to recruit him. I recruited him, got him on my team. In August, he broke my sales record in a month. He sold $860,000 of Investorlift licenses in a single month.
Wow.
His commission on that, he's making over $40,000 in a single month
Wow.
before he even turned 21. And after that month, I was like, Lars, you know what? What have you always wanted? Like, what's like a reward you want to give yourself? He's like, I've always wanted like Louis Vuitton full bag set. Like, you know what? Go to Louis Vuitton today. Go buy a full set. Do it. Go. Like, don't blow the whole check, but go reward yourself. Spend a little bit of money. You got to get out of your system and just enjoy it. Enjoy it. You work hard. You kill yourself every day pursuing money. You can't just save it all. Don't blow it all like an idiot.
Yeah.
But you got to enjoy it a little bit.
Right. Well, I think it was like one of those serious conversations because I was making a lot of money. It was time to pay taxes, and then my CPA is looking at me. He's like, "You spend a lot of money in the clubs," and I'm like, "Where else am I going to spend?" He's like, "You need to buy some real estate," and I always had this real estate bug in my brain. And then it kind of switched for me. My friend that I went to high school with, or I guess associate, he's not the coolest person. He was kind of like lame in high school, but we were always like the little entrepreneur brains coming together, like coming up with crazy ideas to like sell the next product or whatever. And he sends me a picture of an $18,000 check, and it was from a wholesale deal. And I'm like, if this guy can do this, I'm gonna crush it. And I told him, I was like, I don't care what I have to do or how much time it's gonna take you. You're gonna teach me how to do this, and I'm gonna run laps with it.
This
right?
is exactly Wolf of Wall Street sitting at the bar.
Similar,
you show
yeah,
me that
similar.
check. I'm quitting my job right now, and I'm starting tomorrow.
It wasn't that I was like quitting. I had like, I mean,
You're
I was
already
making a bunch of
rocking.
money. I was rocking, but I
Transition.
needed somewhere to park some money, and then did a couple wholesale deals back in the day, and then I don't know, I did like 4 or 5 wholesale deals, and I just got like really prideful, and I'm like, I have all this going on. I'm like doing sales already, so let me just do fix and flips. And I got really heavy into fix and flips. Just I was buying like 3 or 4 deals or fix and flips a month. right? And raising private money, using hard money lenders, and I got really good at like managing contractors. And because we all know, wholesaling is just sales and marketing.
Oh man, look at it. I gotta teach my man Zach how to throw a football, but he's teaching me so much today in real estate. I learned so much. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. And look, you guys, I learned how to take this trash to cash, and my man taught me everything. It was a true masterclass today.
Guys, if you want to see more content like this, stay tuned every week. We're going to be updating the station. We're going deep. We're throwing touchdowns. We're doing short passes. We're bringing you everything you want to know about real estate. Turning trash to cash. That's what we do. That's what we excel in. And we'll also enhance our spiral throws.
Baby.
Working on it, baby.
Come on, give me a good one. Give me a good
one.
one.
Have a good weekend.
There we go. All right, there we go. There we
go. And then obviously, you gotta source deals. But I was picking them up all from wholesalers and agents. And mind you, the spread wasn't the biggest, but if you do them in volume, it was, right? So I did that probably for about 2 years straight, and every year I was just doing more and more. And I finally came to like a realization. It's like, okay, I'm making significantly a lot more money in real estate than I am in my marketing door-to-door company, right? And I just kind of made a decision. And it was like one of the biggest, or not biggest, but a big lesson that I learned in business is I should have sold that company.
Yeah.
I just shut it down. Yeah, it's like my business partner ended up opening an acquisition office.
I wish we were friends back then, and you would call me. I would be like, Johnny,
we're taking it.
Let me connect you to my M&A guy.
That's right.
Yeah, it's like, man, we had everything lined up from contracts to offices.
You just
what do you think it was doing in revenue per year?
I just stopped doing it. Huh?
What was the revenue per year?
We're doing anywhere from 1 to 1.5 million. Yeah.
I mean, that's $3-4 million.
Obviously, it was me and my business partner. Yeah, it was like. At that time, I was just so done. It's just like in my brain, I was like, I can't see myself doing this for another 3 to 5 years. In real estate, I can see myself doing this forever. Right?
Yeah.
Because for me, it was all about commitment. It's just like I wanted to give something my all. And at that time, I was doing 2, and I felt like I was giving my people half of what I could possibly do.
You understand focus.
Every day, I would show up and I would have guilt, and I was like, I'm not giving my people everything because I'm doing something else. I'm chasing 2 different rabbits. And at the same time, I'm not giving myself everything. I'm not giving my full potential because I'm spread in multiple directions. And they always have that term. It's like multiple streams of income makes you a millionaire or what have you. But the philosophy is different for a lot of people. For me, it was just like be the best at something and start making income, and then you start diving into different attributes to reinvest and developing other streams of income. But yeah, I just like had a hard conversation with my business partner at the time. He's like, well, I'm coming with you. I'm like, okay. And he opens up a acquisition office in Miami, and it failed drastically. Nothing on his part. It's just like, it was just Miami. You're doing wholesale deals in Miami. Good luck. It was just fucking, like, I lost so much money in that market.
Really?
It was crazy.
Why?
Yeah, why do you think that was? I know some guys that
I just
crushing
could never.
it.
Yeah,
I got guys on Investorlift doing $500,000.
Yeah.
It was just I wasn't
months.
familiar with the market,
Yeah.
And granted, yeah, it's just like if you're in that market and you've been doing it a while, good for you. But like coming in there as like somebody that's never done deals there before, and running a full-blown wholesaling operation out of an office, we just got torched. Wow. And it was a huge lesson. It's just like, okay, I'm gonna just stick to what I'm good at, and then beta test in different markets and things of that nature. And that's why I see a lot of people doing the virtual wholesaling now. I'm like, good for them. But it's just like our philosophy is like we're gonna build what we know, and then we're gonna expand from there. And that's why we dominate Texas.
Yeah. You're the king of Texas wholesaling.
Let's talk about this because you kind of glossed over it. You see the check for the $17,000, you get lured. Okay, this makes sense. It's strategic timing. You come into the market, you're like, okay, I just did a couple wholesales real fast, then I did a bunch of fix and flips, and I was good at this, I'm gonna build a team. And you had all these different relationships, and you're growing and scaling.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen overnight. How did you, penetrate the industry successfully, and how did you cultivate all these relationships so quickly and really learn it from wholesale to fix and flipping? What was the impetus on that?
Yeah, so when I started in real estate, it was like 2015. And between 2015 and 2018, I was doing both, right? And so I did a couple wholesale deals, like 5 or 6 my first year, and then I just went full-time fix and flipping after that. So between 16 and 18, I was only doing fix and flips. My philosophy was, let me build these relationships with these agents and wholesalers because they're finding all the deals, right? The closer I get to these people, the more the people trust me, the more I'm going to trust them and of them providing good deals, right? And I mean, at that time, I knew how to evaluate deals. I knew how to evaluate.
And how did you learn that? Let's really delve into it. How did you understand the marketing coming in,
The marketing?
version? not the marketing. You understand marketing. How did you understand the real estate business? You came in, you're a young kid, 21.
Yeah, I mean,
how do you know pricing?
Yeah. Well,
How
it's
did you
like
really
as
get
far
into
as
it?
we're like running comps, John Jacobus, if you're watching this, man, I still got a lot of love for you. It's just I used to pay him like $50 just to run a comp for me, and he was one of the best in the market. He was a broker, or he's a broker now, but he really taught me how to run comps like an appraisal would, right? And so I really got in, and he was paying me $50, but it was just like, there was times where I was like, all right, why are you thinking it like this? And I just kept asking enough questions to like really understand all the attributes of running comps, right? Because we know it's just like you can run a deal, and if you run the bad comp, then you're just out of luck.
Wasting time, yeah.
You know, you're out of luck. And you know, I was like really careful on that. And then when I was doing fix and flip, there was a deal where I lost $30,000 on. That was a huge lesson.
Yeah.
I was like, losing money sucks. I mean, I'm sure in your experience, you're just like, I don't lose anymore. I mean, that's eventually you get to a point like that. It's just like
Everybody loses.
I am never gonna lose money on a deal ever
those
again.
losses are actually the biggest earners
Exactly.
because you get that mindset shift. Like when you have a big hit like that, you feel that pain. You're like, I never want to feel that pain again.
Yeah, and it was just like we had private money on the deal, and I had to go to the title company with the check to get rid of this house.
Right.
But my philosophy was I could easily, you know, I was like, screw the lender or whatever. But I was like, the relationship that I have with that lender, I still have today.
Of course.
He saw that, and he's just like, dude, like, you know, he's like started like trusting me and believing me as he should. But it was just like, it was always my mission is to, you know, protect the brand, build the brand, and build a brand, you know. And I feel like, especially the time now, I was just, you know, always very concerned about your reputation. Your reputation is everything.
Yeah, you get the best reputation in Texas.
I mean,
anytime I mention your name, everyone's like, "Oh, I love Donovan Ruffin."
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, but it's just like I made a commitment early on, just because a lot of people start in this business to make money, get rich, or, you know, be popular, or be the guy at the bar. Like you know, I flip houses just to get girls or whatever, you know. But for me, it was just like, I'm going to build a brand. I want to build a brand. And, you know, as regardless of where the market goes, eventually it's like a domino effect, you know. And I feel like a lot of people struggle in this business, and seeing people struggle, it's just like you made the wrong commitments early on. You know, a lot of direct to seller people that only do direct to seller, they struggled a lot just because they didn't have a brand. They didn't build a brand. You know, we're blessed because we've been building a brand for 10 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's our mission. As soon as people enter into the space, they should hear about us. They should hear about us.
And that's why you run those events.
Yeah, we run
so
events.
So for people
now.
that don't know, and I'm not super, I know you as a person, but talk about your brand. What is it that you're trying to, you know?
Yeah, equity cash offer. I mean, it's just like people know equity cash offer is a resource for them to help sell their deals. Like we have sales teams, we have tools. I mean, obviously we use Investorlift.
Your dispo manager won Closers Olympics, or no, second place in Closers Olympics. Sold the deal in less than 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So your whole differentiating factor is equity cash offer, the number one disposition and acquisition company in distressed real estate.
Absolutely.
Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's very accurate. Yeah, people. I mean, investors have a resource to come and find deals, and wholesalers have a place to come sell deals.
You guys have very similar styles. I think that's why both of you are very successful. If I call up Zach and I say, "Hey, I got this deal," it doesn't matter what my asking price is. Zach will just tell me exactly how much he'll pay.
Yep.
And I know once he gives me that number, it's a done deal.
Yep.
If I got two buyers, I got Zach and I got another buyer. With the other buyer that I don't know, I make an extra 10 grand. Let's say I make 30 grand with that buyer, or with Zach, I make 20. I'm going with Zach all day long because the other offer is 50-50. So my expected value is 15,000. 50-50 they actually perform. I got to make sure my hard money lender will actually fund this in time.
Correct.
Well, Zach is guaranteed 100% chance of getting 20K. And with you, I think it's the same thing. It's like, hey, I'm going to shoot straight. I'm going to tell you exactly what I can sell this for. I'll tell you exactly, is this a deal? Is this not a deal? If I tell you I can sell it, I can sell it.
That's what I like, by the way, just a shout out to Investorlift. With the new technology coming out, the probability with your AI of them telling when someone submits an offer on there, the likelihood of the deal selling is going to be amazing. So people are on there, it's like, all right, we already know what we're signing up for. This is amazing.
Showing you on Investorlift at your asking price when you're posting your deal, what is the probability that will move at that price?
Oh wow, that's amazing.
That's huge.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're kind of hitting it head on. It's just like tools, leads, resources. There's so many, I mean, especially with Investorlift. Investorlift does amazing for us. But I think the biggest difference with Equity Cash Offer is the relationships, right? We have sales reps that develop relationships over time. And, you know, when we push a deal out, it's just like we already know, like all of our reps have like 10 to 100 people in that designated market on who they're going to pitch it to and who they're going to get an offer from, you know? So you know, it's kind of, you know, crazy to kind of see it from like a bird's eye view, and over time, it's just, I've been in this business 10 years, and it's just like, I remember like pounding the streets, running bandit signs, trying to find a lead, just one lead. People are so spoiled. I walked on my sales floor yesterday, and I was like, you guys are spoiled. Like, you guys have no clue, you know.
The grind.
You should show yourselves when they come in for, like, you know, the first introduction to your company and come in. You should play a video of you out on the streets with the bandit signs, taking those. Because I did the same thing. I had bandit signs, sell now, cash now, 1-800 no agent. We had all that stuff. People,
it worked.
You're right. And all of a sudden, you're just handing them the leads, and they're just making calls, leveraging technology, sitting in the office, drinking a latte. It's a little different. We were hitting the streets. I could see the marks and the wear down on your shoes from hitting the pavement pretty strong. Mine are pretty dirty, too.
Having to go to, like, networking events and post all over Facebook trying to find a buyer.
Talk to people.
Now we can just press a button, and we got, like, 30 leads from Investorlift. It's insane.
By the way, funny story. Do you remember the first time you called me and you wanted to come on Investorlift?
I do, yeah.
So, funny story. When we did, Investorlift used to be private. It was just 12 of us.
There was like a beta, like the 12 disciples, and I wasn't invited.
12 cartel bosses. And then some of those guys became really big, and they started selling coaching. And they're like, Robert, you got to open this up for your students. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is our competitive advantage. Like, I want us to all be the first $100 million a year wholesaling companies. Why would we give up our competitive advantage? But then they finally convinced me to, like, do a test. And I was like, okay. Back then, we used to actually install it on people's servers. There was no SaaS. It wasn't like a SaaS product where I could spin up a license. And so I was like, okay, it would take me about 60 days to convert it to SaaS. I have to hire a couple engineers. I'm not going to do that unless, like, I can prove first that there's demand for the product. I always try to pre-sell stuff before I actually build it. A lot of people, like, build stuff, they take it to market, the market rejects it, and they waste all their time and effort. So I'm all right. I'll throw a webinar. So I threw a webinar with Dan Schwartz, also another Texas guy. I didn't even have a proper Zoom license, so it capped off at 150 webinar attendees. That was the most you could have on that, like, my free license of Zoom. And we had 150 people on in the first hour. I did a pre-sale, half off if you buy it in advance. And I said, if we do this, we'll deliver in 60 days. You get half off if you buy it now. You pay full ticket price in 60 days if you buy it then. So we do 144,000 in the first hour. I'm like, damn, I knew people were going to like it. Like, almost $1,000 per webinar attendee. That's insane. It's absolutely off the charts. So I'm like, huh, interesting. I take the webinar recording, post it on a bunch of wholesaling Facebook groups. And my phone, I had it set so it would bing, send me a text every time there was a sale. It's like every 5 minutes, bing,
Jesus,
bing, like another $3,000, just boom, 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 boom. And so I'm like, shit, I knew people were going to like it. I didn't know they're going to like it this much. So after 30 days, we had 1.8 million in pre-sales from that webinar.
Wow.
And then I was like, shit, brand.
yeah.
I could keep this going. All my affiliates were like, keep it going, keep it going. You're staying on goal. I'm like, no. If we screw this out, we destroy our brand.
Yep.
We need to cut off sales. We need to make sure that everyone that pre-ordered, we deliver in the 60 days and make sure that everyone has an incredible experience. I can't take on more companies because there's like 300 some companies that sign up just like that. So what I did is I switched Investorlift to put $100 deposit down to reserve a spot on the wait list. And it was like that until the end of the year, until I got everyone on, I stabilized it. So Donnie calls me like Don calls me 2 or 3 months after the wait list, and he's like, yo, I want on Investorlift. I'm like, sorry, it's closed. You remember that conversation?
Yeah, I was so pissed off because I was seeing people that were on it. I was like, bro, we're significantly a lot bigger than that. Like, my brand's bigger. Like, I mean, what do you want from me? And he was just like,
I'm on
he
TV.
was like, no.
If you see me, look me up.
It was like,
look at my IG.
I was
Google
like,
me right now.
I was like hanging up the phone. I would pace around. I was like talking to Omar. I was like, who the fuck does this guy think he is? Like, does he know who we are or whatever? I was so mad. Not at you personally, but I was just like, he's a killer salesperson. Everybody wants what they can't have.
For sure.
Everybody wants what they can't have. And it was just like, it was just like a resource that I was like, in between, I was like, all right, we could hire like, another a rep, pay him salary or whatever, and plus commission, or we could just get Investorlift,
Right.
Yeah.
and see what happens. And we finally got the clear to get Investorlift.
I made one exception that period. You were the only exception.
How many times did you harass him to get in there?
He's a good salesperson.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, at that time in my company, I was like, I think it was like right when I was like earning my way back in my company, because I got fired from my own company.
What do you mean you got fired?
Oh, okay, well, we
Yeah.
gotta do a
What do you
weave
mean?
here.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, but I was coming back and I was like, all right, it's time to like really turn it up a notch, and I was just like, all right, let's get some resources, and Investorlift was on the list, so I was just like really, it was like my mission to really turn the company up and earn everybody's trust, so.
You guys came on and just crushed it.
Yeah, we crushed it. I mean, we still crushed it. I mean,
I always see you guys as one of our top users.
as we should.
Equity cash offers always right up at the top.
Yeah, we put like 5 or 6 deals up there every day.
Every single day.
Every day.
5, 6
That's
deals a
ton.
day.
Wow.
A day.
150 to 200 a month is your volume. How many deals?
Business
you locking
days. Man, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I guess like I always like have a humble approach, especially now I'm back in the limelight. So it's just like we do a lot.
up? That's good. I respect it. Let's delve into a little bit. One, what do you mean you got fired from your company?
Yeah. So it's this was 2019. Yeah, 2019 or right before COVID, and man, I had a good solid group of leaders and I trusted them. It's just like I was at that point in my company where it's like, if something's in motion, just back off and just let them fly, and I had a good leadership team, and I got voted off of being CEO, and it was a hard.
So you gave your leadership team the power to do that?
Yeah, I did. And now, granted, I still own the company, right?
Yeah.
But it's just like, all right, you guys think you guys can do it better than me? Let's see what happens, And then, me and my ex, we flew to we did a Asian tour, or no, we flew to Paris and did Dubai. I got bored in Paris and flew to Dubai, and my phone's calling, like they're calling me. It's like, we got robbed. Somebody robbed our office. They come and took all our computers. It was blowing the fuck up. It was like on fire. I was like, I fucking told these guys, right?
The whole thing.
Yeah, it
So
was just
you
literally
decided-
like almost burning down.
So you
without
get
me.
fired and you go on vacation. You're
Yeah.
like, all right, I'm out.
Yep.
Okay.
And then
How long was that you were out?
until they called me back. I was
Was that like a few
3
weeks?
weeks?
A few months?
Yeah,
3 weeks.
Yep.
So in hindsight, would you have allowed that power of the team to fire you or no?
I mean, I still own the company. It was
No,
just
I get
like
it,
the
but
job
just
as
remove you
CEO.
of that responsibility.
Would I allow that again? I mean, absolutely. Like if somebody's thinks that I'm not the best leader or whatever, I mean, it's just like that's how it should be. I think.
That's great leadership. I've always said the same thing. I'm like, at some point, if I've taken Investorlift as far as I can, where I've like, okay, I'm out. I'm like out of my depth right now. Like, I need a professional CEO. I'm gonna hire a professional CEO.
But let's take this deeper. On that hiatus period, what did you learn from them that you felt that you were that you did wrong, or you could enhance your skills as a leader to come back and change?
I mean, for me, I was just like a cutthroat dickhead.
Okay.
Like I was just mean to everybody.
Got it.
Just because I would demand so much out of my people, I would forget that people have feelings.
Right.
I guess.
So when you came back, were you a different leader having taken that
Absolutely.
time?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And did you notice in a
took
direct
time to like
correlation?
actually listen to people. I didn't listen to damn near anybody in my company. It was just like my way or the highway, right? And that was like the biggest disconnect that I was having between my leadership team and my team was I wasn't listening to them and what they needed and what they wanted. And I learned how to listen after that. It was just like, I mean, I have a choice.
Yeah.
I didn't have a choice. It was a very humbling experience. And, it was an experience that I definitely needed. And I came back and I just came back with like a vengeance and mission, and
Steve Jobs 2.0. Remember
Yeah,
that
it was
story, Pepsi guy?
Yeah, yeah.
I guess at that time it was like
Came
very
back.
vivid for me. It's like, I'm not there, right? I'm not involved. It's like, what can I do to obviously help pump my company, right? Without me physically being there, my face not being physically seen, people not physically seeing my emails or my text messages. Our investors are not talking to me. I'm not making the decisions at title companies. And it was very clear to me. It was very clear to me that, I mean, even at the time, like I was sending like the payroll checks from Ruffin Real Estate Investments. And people would see that. And it was just like, even that little thing made a big difference, just because you don't have to like me. People quit companies from people, right? People don't quit companies for the company.
That's
right?
true. That's the number one reason why people leave is bad leader.
Bad leader, right? And so obviously, you know, I'm not saying I still think I'm the best leader, but anyways, you know, I changed everything. It's like, all right, I'm gonna equity cash offer is gonna be the brand. That's how people are gonna get paid. That's what emails are gonna see. Like, they don't have to talk to me. They don't have to see me. It's like, how can I build a brand where if I'm not there, that the business still not just operates and makes money, but continues to grow without me.
That's the final
And that's
stage.
when I learned, okay, it's not about me anymore. It's about the company.
Yeah. There's 3 stages. Stage 1, you got to do everything yourself. Stage 2, you got to replace yourself. And in that early stage, as you're replacing yourself, you have to actually be a dictator. That's why the best builders are like very direct, guys like yourself. Very direct. Hey, it's my way or the highway, because your chances of every day you should die, unless you have someone just making decisions fast and everyone on board with, okay, you're the captain, you're gonna die. Like 99% of businesses die in the first 5 years or so. But then the next stage is removing yourself. And when you remove yourself, what you got to do is you got to build leaders. And that, it sounds like that's the transition that you've gone through since getting fired from your own company. You're now, hey, how do I build the leaders that can not just sustain, but continue to hit the company's growth objectives, even if I'm not here? Now, do you feel like you're there right now?
Setting up text marketing is a pain in the butt, but with Investorlift, it's plug and play. With a single click of a button, you can send out thousands of texts to the most qualified and relevant buyers for your deal. Click on the link below to see how it can help your deal today.
Well, like my philosophy is for sure to delete yourself, but I'm always obviously in build mode, right? I get really good at something and then outsource it, right? And find somebody better than me at that task, the best person. And I got extremely good at, you know, recognizing talent. You understand like the natures of what you're the best, and I really feel like I'm really good at finding, you know, talking to people and having conversations, getting to know people, and finding what area in the company that they're gonna thrive in and be the best at, right? And so even, you know, it's just like, if it comes to the point where I can find a better CEO than me, absolutely. Like, that's what the company would need, right? And that's just kind of the philosophy that I live by. Until I find a better CEO, then it's going to be me, right? So we opened an office in San Antonio. We're rocking there. I've been interviewing GMs for our office in Houston, and it's just really challenging because it's like Houston's a huge market, and we do a ton of business there, right? And we have a huge community. We have reps, we have deals, we have everything. It's just, we just need the leader. And so, you know, it's probably to the point where I'm probably going to have to move to Houston until I find that person, right? And Dallas is obviously rocking our corporate headquarters. But yeah, I mean, that's what's next for us, is like, we're on a mission. Like, we're like, you know, what the industry needs is just like, we find what we're good at, and now it's just, we're putting it on the gas, you know, so.
So where are you driving to? So you're building, you're driving, you're in full perpetual motion. What's the exit? What's the goal?
Yeah, we're gonna have offices in, you know, 30 different markets here in the next 24 months.
So if you have 30 offices, are you building it to get bought out by a hedge fund? Like, what is the overall mission?
The overall mission is to be the biggest wholesaling company in the country. And I mean, I'm sure we all know who our biggest competitor is. We don't have to say any names.
Not a fan of them?
No, I mean, you gotta pay respect where it's due. But,
yeah,
you know,
they're the first ones to try to buy Investorlift.
Yeah.
But then I asked him, what are you going to do with it? He said, well, everyone's on annual contracts. I'm just going to not renew anyone. And then 12 months I have monopoly.
It's just so crazy. It's just like the only thing, like
sorry,
in the markets that we're in, we you know.
NW.
Yeah, we brutally kick their ass.
Really?
Like, I mean, sometimes we sell deals for them.
So what I've heard is their top discipline managers will sell about 10 million in properties per year.
They crush it.
You know how much the top discipline managers on Investorlift sell? Over 100 million. So our guys with Investorlift are literally a factor of 10 times more productive on their dispo than.
I mean, the only thing, I mean, it's just like, it's just so crazy how everything unfolds. Like, the only difference between what they have now and where we're going is just the amount of sales reps. Offices.
You have more buyers. You have
significantly, yeah.
4 times more buyers.
I don't doubt it one bit. We have all the resources that we need to dominate.
I got to ask you, what percentage, you're doing 5-6 deals a day, what percentage of those are JV versus direct to seller?
We're 80-20 right now. So 20% of our business
source,
is direct to
seller.
Yep, direct to seller.
80% JV.
And then
So you're really
80%
crushing it.
business.
Okay, so I've seen so many guys try to do this model, and so many of them fail.
I think that
So many of them fail
it's
because
very
the amount of shit deals that get submitted, the amount of time it takes you to find a properly underwritten deal. Like of those 5 to 6 a day, I mean, we're talking over 100 deals, right? What is that? 150, 100 plus deals.
Well,
what percentage of those
Really
actually
business.
get across the finish line?
It's about half of 50%.
About half, which is about the industry standard. Okay, so how many like how do you get all these JV opportunities and like filter through them? Because that's where people die when they try to go heavy on the JV model.
Well, a lot of people try to dive into it and they don't have a fucking brand. Like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Right? Equity cash offer, it's just like, I call it like in-person SEO. Like, people are just hitting our site all day. Submitting deals like, help me move this.
Let me play
Everyone's
devil's
begging
advocate
us.
for a
You're the
second.
Despo arm for the city.
Yeah, they're
basically.
sending us deals all day, every day. Like,
So-
we get like 200 leads sent to us every single day.
So from 200 down to 5-6.
Yep.
Okay, so on this JV model, excuse the ignorance and playing devil's advocate, why wouldn't somebody just go directly to Investorlift to dispo
People
the
have
deal?
like we dispo people from like the deal will be on Investorlift already. It's not. I mean, nothing's wrong with it. I mean, the biggest difference is they don't have a brand. They don't have the sales
Okay,
team.
so your differentiating factors, it's not always successful. It's just passively put out on the internet. You guys are help cultivating and really
it's not
enhancing
just-
the sales process and enhancing the deal.
We all know it's bigger than just pressing a button. You can't just. And this business is way bigger than pressing a
follow-up.
button.
That's what I'm getting
the
at. So that's
tools-
your differentiating factor is the personal relationships, the packaging of the deal, the marketing, the cultivation.
All right, my easiest way to describe it. You ever been to like? There's a mechanic shop right there, right? Investorlift provides all the tools for it to be sitting in the mechanic shop. I mean, you can't just drive a broken Ferrari in there and just expect it to just fix itself.
Yeah.
You could have one you could have one mechanic in the shop, right? And that's the biggest difference. So they have one mechanic, and then all of a sudden they got like 30 cars lined up with. They have all the tools and resources in the world to fix all of them.
just don't have enough
They don't have
mechanics.
enough manpower. They don't have manpower.
The
That's
average
biggest difference.
user is only using about 20-30% of what Investorlift can actually
They physically
do.
don't
so
have
if
enough
he's
time.
at 100
Yeah.
and someone else is at 30, you could have the exact
I
same
understand,
deal.
but that was my
You're selling
point, just
it.
to try and figure out so that makes
Yeah.
perfect sense.
Yeah, it's just like we have the manpower, we have the sales team, we have the relationships. It's
I
And
think
your
your
salespeople
value
are
add,
great.
too.
Yeah.
Like they're great. Like you guys were featured on Closers Olympics. We chose your team because you had one that I think possibly the highest volume of deals on Investorlift last year. So I'm like, okay,
Probably
we want on
the-
Closers
probably.
Olympics. We want someone from Donnie's team. I tried to get you on. It's
What'd I tell
interesting.
you?
You wouldn't go on.
What did I tell you?
You said I got people. I hired people on my team because they're better at than me. I haven't been on the phones for 2-3 years. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to put one of my people on it.
I respect
Also,
that.
if I do it, then it's disrespectful to my team.
That's exactly what I said.
I think that's great.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine? Like, I couldn't imagine like working my butt off every single day to be like the best, and then
The CEO
CEO comes in
like,
after not doing it for like, oh, you know, it's just like, I don't do this shit for clout.
Yeah.
I don't do this to like be popular or be seen. I do this to be the best, right?
Yeah.
And you know, when you build a team, like, I mean, when you own a team, right? A sports team, it's a similar philosophy. Do you think Jerry Jones is walking down the field just like, fuck it, put me in the game? He's like, hell no. First of all, he's too old. Second
That's
of all,
hilarious. That's
you know,
really
he's gonna hire the very best person to do the job. But I mean, obviously, the Cowboys are terrible right now, but
Shout out to my Lions. Hello. Crushing right now.
So-
that makes perfect sense. But I
know.
think the other thing, too, is on that JV model, what is your split on that? Is it a 50-50, 70-30? What is the...
it really kind of depends on the deal.
Okay.
It depends on the situation, depends on the relationship. I mean, it's real estate. Every deal is different, right? Some people need more resources than others. Some deals where it's just like a clear shot to the closing table or whatever. I mean, every single deal is different. But I think the biggest thing is just getting in and letting our team evaluate it and see how we can help, right? But I will say, I mean, the reason why we have so much repeat business, right? Because essentially it's B2B, right? Business to business, smaller deal sizes for us, but you know, repeat business and more volume, right? Is people, you know, obviously make a lot more selling through equity cash offer than trying to do it themselves.
And that's the value add.
And so they see it, you know. So it's just like, regardless of what the deals or like the split is or what have you. But I mean, that's our mission, is like, how can we provide value to this person for them to keep coming back?
Yep.
You know, and people see that.
One of the things I really like about you is our industry is the cowboy industry right now. It's the wild goddamn
Wild
West. Right. That's why you see the government come in and trying to regulate us in a lot of states. One of the things that I like about you is you always stand up for what's right.
Yep.
And when people are bad actors, you call them out. Maybe you go a little bit too savage sometimes.
Yep.
The last time I got sued,
The last time
$2.5 million,
we got sued.
joint name in the lawsuit,
Yeah.
was because there was a guy that came on Investorlift. He was clearly stealing deals from one of the greatest wholesalers I know, Chris Jefferson, down in Virginia. So Chris Jefferson. So it wasn't even our deal, but there was a complete digital trail on the properties showing that this guy stole the deals. So I'm like, you know what? I'm sick of this. I'm going to call him out. I post a photo of him, his name. I'm like, heads up
Can't
to
stand
everyone in
people like
this
that.
city. If you're doing deals with this guy, stop. He's been banned from all our systems. He's a repeat. It's not just once, it's twice now with the digital trail that he's circumvented. This is before we put in all the new features that shut that down, address verification, non-circumvent agreements, all that shit. But before we had those features out, it started to become a problem. So I call him out. Then Donnie goes next level.
Yeah.
He goes next level. He finds the guy's mom's Instagram.
Oh, no.
Scrolls down, finds a photo of like where the guy's getting his real estate license. Oh, I'm so proud of my son. And you're like commenting back, are you proud of your son for stealing deals? Like,
He was
one
like,
star
how does it feel
everywhere,
raising
like-
a thief?
Wow.
And I come home one day and I got something taped on my door. Oh, $2.5 million defamation lawsuit.
Wow.
Of course, though, the guy was just pushing for a settlement. He just, I think, wanted the pressure off.
No, that wasn't the mission. The goal for him was, holy shit, I got caught on my primary source of income of stealing, and these people are going to put me out of business if
Yeah.
I don't put a defense on it.
The lawsuit was literally hilarious. The guy was like, oh, since this posting, no one will do business with me anymore.
So what
They should not do
transpired? Did he go
business.
out of
Yeah.
business?
I think so.
well, he sued us because he claimed that he was
I think we
pretty
put him
much out of business.
You didn't pay him
Yeah,
a
he hasn't
penny,
he hasn't
obviously.
posted anything in years.
And he tried to shake us down for calling him out.
Yeah, and nothing.
Nothing.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, I mean, for me, it was just like,
Because he knew we had the full digital trail, so we would have to depose. So we either have to. I'm like I was here at the Four Seasons Hotel an hour before the deposition with this guy. And my
The
attorney
fact that you have
calls
to
me
go
up.
through a full deposition of
The,
all
the
this
attorney
is
calls me up. He's like, "Hey, he's willing to take 10 grand." He dropped from $2.5 million down to 10 grand. I'm like, he dropped that much because he knows either he needs to lie under oath,
Yeah.
which in case he's going to jail,
Yeah.
or he needs to admit, in which case he's going to jail. So either way, he's going to jail. So I guarantee you he's not walking that deposition room.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure enough, later, he's like, "Are you sure, man? I can get rid of this for 10 grand right now." I'm like, "Go and depose him." 10 minutes later, he calls us back. He's like, "Yeah, he dropped it." I'm like,
of course he fucking did. I was so ready to like go on record and
Yeah,
destroy
we're like,
him.
let's go. Set an example.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of like why I stepped in, is just like, because it's very frequent.
Yeah.
It happens. I mean, especially, you know, I hate to say it, but, you know, there's a lot of not so honest people that get involved in any business, right? And I feel like as leaders, right, sometimes it takes a different approach to like kind of not just set a message, but like kind of like set some ground rules industry wide of what not to do and what to do, the honest thing to do, and the consequences behind it. And I think without that, it's just it could be a wild, wild west, you know, and constantly. And you know, in our business is constantly growing, constantly achieving more and more. And you know, you can't just let people come into a certain space or come into your house or come into anything and just get away with it. That just drives me insane,
has to
especially
be
fees.
It's principle. It's not even the
yeah,
money. It's just the
And
principle.
it's just like for somebody to just do this on a consistent, like clear as day on a consistent basis to just get away with it. It was just like, all right, like we cannot allow this to happen. Like in my brain is like, I cannot allow somebody to just come into our space and just take advantage of people. Like I was the new guy, you know, trusting an investor or whoever, show up to my showing and then sure enough, like the seller's not call me back anymore.
Yeah.
The buyers ghosted me. I'm blocked. They stole my fucking deal.
Exactly.
I trusted that guy.
Yeah.
And then lo and behold, it was just like me naive. I didn't, I was new into the industry. I was like, holy shit. And so the more I started growing, it's just like, we were always, on defense mode in that realm. But I think most importantly, when you got clear examples like that, you're gonna have, a rude awakening, if you can.
But I believe in karma.
You know that little disclaimer that we have that people have to agree to,
right?
Every time they reveal the address on a deal. The last few guys that tried to circumvent sued the buyers that went around them, and every single time there's been a lawsuit, just that little blurb, the courts see that is a digital signature, which is equivalent to an actual signature, and every single guy has won. And every single time a guy wins, we can use that case then for the next case. It's precedence, and the courts always follow other courts. So is more and more guys get sued, it just strengthens it more and more and more and protects everyone's deals.
I mean, I was in a buyer actually tried to sue me because the deal didn't close. Seller just backed out and he sued me. I was like, I mean, obviously we did everything we possibly could. The seller was just not performing. And so he sued us for non-performance, fucking rang him a new ass in court. And then he ended up having to pay me $25,000 and my attorney's fees because clear as day, dude, we can't provide a clear title, bro. It's just like, it is what it is. I mean, we can't just threaten people like all day to perform if they don't want to. It's just like we got other things to do. But I mean, it's just like when it comes to lawsuits, it's like who did what and who did wrong and things of that nature. But I think most importantly is just I think it's a good tool to utilize to really destroy shitty people.
Yeah, you're gonna love what's coming on Investorlift next week. You know what's coming?
What's coming?
Two-way reviews.
Two-way reviews? Nice.
Every single buyer, if they perform, leave them a review. They don't perform, leave them a review.
Yeah, reviews are everything.
Vice versa. If you're a wholesaler, you're doing a good job, you get reviews.
In the wholesaling realm, it's just so because when you go to be a real estate agent, what do they teach you? It's just like get a list of everybody that you know and your social media, start posting, and help people you personally know get into a home, right? Yeah. Build your brand and generate referrals. The biggest real estate agents that we know as we get more experience is like, how do you generate business? What do you do for marketing? It's like they just come to me, like referrals. Right? And when people get into the wholesaling realm, it's just like they just do so much marketing and it works for them. They forget about the philosophy of the brand and for the reviews and the referrals. And like when I tell you, it's just like, I mean, we like our business, it's just like we did millions of dollars with zero ad spend.
Wow.
Because our brand.
Mm-hmm. That's critical.
And it's just crazy, not just to. It obviously it was kind of expected, but I think most importantly is just there's people out there that are struggling because they're just betting on like that one avenue, right? It's just so confusing to me. It's just like, well, like what's the point of you being in business? Like people haven't there's people in the space that haven't made the commitment, to do it for their career. Like you probably made a commitment at an early on age to make this your career.
It's all or nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, again, the whole premise of this podcast is 11 out of 10. There's people that are in the business, they spend the money, they're expecting a certain ROI. It doesn't work like that. We talk about reviews, experience, everything that we do. I had a conversation today with someone calls me on my own rental property. She goes, I can't believe you answered the phone. I called 15 people. You're the first non-digital person to actually pick up the phone. This is great. Who owns the property? I said, I'm actually the owner. Well, who's the agent? I said, that's me too. I said, you're getting full service right here, and I promise you I'm going to take great care of you. So even when you move in the house, you're going to have 24/7 service. You're going to have my direct number. I own a lot of properties. I'm going to take great care of you. She goes, I don't care which house I'm going to rent, but I'm going to rent from you. That was my conversation within 5 minutes, right? But that's the whole point. People are just passive. People just expecting to, through serendipity and karma, I'm just going to make money. It doesn't work like you got to put in the work. You got to grind. You got to give an 11 out of 10 experience. People are just passive. They're complacent with what's going on. You got to elevate that stuff. Yep. That's the biggest difference. So I have some more great questions for you, Don. Sure. You got this great business. You're growing. You're scaling. Number one, what is your insight into the market right now overall? We're transitioning into a new administration. A lot of talks about, immigration, a lot of different reforms.
Immigration? Like Mexicans?
No, I mean, they're talking about the Chinese, Mexicans.
The Chinese. Man, it's just like, I'm not going to sit here and, lollygag. I'm just going to keep. There's a lot of people that struggled in this industry. in the past 24 months. And I've seen a lot of people going out of business. And, you know, even us internally, you know, we struggled. You know, there was a lot of red months consistently. And it was actually like a year ago, or a little bit over a year ago. It's like, if I don't make a decision to change what's happening, we're going to keep bleeding out. And how long is it going to last us? And I kind of woke up one day and developed a plan, and I walked into my office, and it was a hard decision to make. And I pulled and I gave, and we switched everything. We switched everything. We changed our entire compensation plan. We changed our entire model. And I'm so blessed that we did that, because I knew we had a problem in our company, and I knew if I had this problem, everybody else was going to have a problem too. And so I knew, I just didn't need to help our company, I had to help the industry. It was like, we need to hire 20 people in the next 60 days, or we're going to be in trouble. The industry is going to be in trouble.
Talk about that. Why?
It was just challenging to sell deals. Buyers were, you know, running out of cash, and flips were just sitting on the market. Interest rates changed, and, you know, imagine buying a deal with a $20,000 margin, and it already depreciated, you know, $50,000 to $60,000. Sure. It was a hard time. Yeah. And so buyers were more scarce, and I was like, damn, we need to find more buyers a lot faster. And at the time, it was just we couldn't justify hiring, you know, 20 individuals on salary. So we put everybody on all commission, paid them. We looked at our entire, you know, payroll model, and paid, you know, more all commission, so we could bring on more people a lot faster. And, you know, even payroll, it's like people are able to get paid in like 2 or 3 days. Like, they come in, you know, like when I want to come up with like $30,000, I'll just go work on the sales floor for like a week, you know, find cleared, closed properties, and find a buyer like the same day, and it's at the title company and it's closing, right? So people are able to get paid a lot faster versus having to wait a month for their commission. So we switched our model, and it worked.
So you went from having a base with a small commission to, hey, I'm actually going to have way more people, and I'm going to pay them a way higher commission with no base. So that way it's like survival of the fittest. If you can crush it, you can crush it. If you can't crush it, you're going to self-select out.
Yeah, I mean, not even that. It's just like, you know, our top performers, they were just like, I want to go all commission. You know, it's just like, I know how to do it. I don't need salary anymore. And it was just really hard to justify, you know, somebody like our top performers are doing like 80%. And it was just like, okay, well, we can't just do it for 1 or 2 people or 3 people or 5 people. We got to do it for everybody. Yeah.
The top salespeople will always want to be 100% commission.
They should be.
Sure.
Yeah.
No cap.
Okay, and what is that commission rate? What did it look like? What did the comp plan look like before that transition? And what did you move it to?
Do I talk about this publicly? Well, yeah, it's like for acquisitions, like they're getting 20% now.
Wow.
You know, before we were paying dispositions like 2.5%. Now they're getting like up to 22%.
Which is incredible.
You know, anywhere from 12 to 22%. So
that's
they get paid
good.
really
Those
well.
Are big numbers.
Yeah, it's I mean, people, it's just so amazing to see. You know, it's just like, and obviously it's just kind of like the worry. It's just like, oh, people are gonna quit, people are gonna leave, and they're just gonna do that anyways if they want to do it, right? But you know, the people that stay, the people that stick with it, they're gonna thrive, and that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. And it's only the beginning. It's really cool to see. But I say this to say this, you know, it's just like if we didn't adapt, we would be out. Yeah. Right. I've seen a lot of people go out, and
probably
a lot of people.
60% of wholesalers are out in the last.
It was very challenging time. It was very challenging time. And you know, it's just like people that you've started with, people that you've been friends with for years. You know, they're doing something different, and good for them because they have to, you know, provide for their families and stuff like that. But you know, it's just. It just kind of opened the gates of opportunity. It's just like you stick to the narrow path, and you know, then you know there's just amazing things to come with that. And if you stick to the narrow, the what do they call it? The path that's not always taken. Yeah. And that's exactly like I'm seeing it live time. Like there's just so much opportunity for us, and like our brand is now on stilts because we just stuck with it. We just stuck to it, and we just kept going even when it got super hard. Like I mean, it was just stressful. Like I got gray hairs, and you know, I learned a lot. It was very humbling. It's just like making a lot gross, but it's just like how much I've been bringing home. Me personally, negative, you know, for months on end. It was very humbling for me, and you know, it was tough. But I knew it was just like if I stuck with it and developed a plan in areas in which people needed help, we could serve the industry in a very big way.
I like that.
And that's kind of what we did.
What are you doing with all this cash now? Where are you personally investing your money? Is it in real estate? Is it in self growth of the company? Are you in equities? Where does Don put his money today?
Yeah, I mean, we buy deals. We hold some deals just because we have to for cost seg, right? We try to buy those down. We put them in trust. You know, I'm constantly, obviously, you know, trying to grow the company too, right? So I would say a majority of it just goes back to scaling, you know, as we continue to grow. Like, I mean, we're planning to open Houston in like the next 60 days.
So you guys will cherry pick deals, if you will, just for taxation reasons. And then what does that portfolio look like for you and your company?
It's not as big as yours.
No, I'm not comparing anything. It's not about that. I'm just saying, like, what is the game plan? Just retain those assets for depreciation and cash flow?
I mean, obviously, it's just like, you know, obviously it's just the depreciation, but we only get it the first year. So we got to hold it for, 2 years, and then we can sell it if we want. But, I mean, our goal is how can we get to $100,000 in cash flow every single month?
Passively through the portfolio. That's great.
Passively.
Yeah.
So
That's a nice security blanket. Well, I got good news for you. Good news for you is, even though the last 24 months were a little bit tough, since the election, we've seen an absolute surge in lead activity, buyer activity. In fact, it's up over 50% over last month.
That's insane.
And this month will be the greatest month in Investorlift history. It'll be the first month in history where we have over 10,000 houses posted for sale.
wow, that's a lot.
That's insane. Congrats on that. That's crazy.
That's awesome, man.
So this is the beginning of the wave, I think. The next couple of years are going to be great. All that pent up demand, all those people are like, oh, should I sell? Should I buy? Like, all of that's just going to start.
Yeah, a lot of our
Sorry,
buyers,
Mark.
they just flat out paused.
Sure.
You know, like we don't know what's going to
Wait and
happen.
see.
But it's also, you know, right now it's like a season, right? Because, I mean, whenever you watch this, it's what, November right now?
Yeah.
It happens every year, right? Summer is always the best, you know? So it's just, I've been doing this 10 years. So it's just very conditional for me. Like, I'm used to this. So it's just, I feel, especially now with experience and knowledge and tools and a team, it's just, I always am so humbled to think it's just like, you know what? It's hard, but it wasn't as hard as when I first started. It's not as hard as what it was in 2015.
Yeah.
You know, and it's also crazy to see, you know, not to like throw shade, you know, people that are experienced, that are going through tough times and struggling or whatever. Like, how does it make sense for somebody brand new to come into this space and do a deal within 2 weeks, and you're bitching about not doing or performing?
Yeah.
What is the difference between somebody that's brand new and you?
Yeah.
What's the difference? Like, it happens with our sales reps on our sales floor. It's just
tell
like
you
people
what
that have
the
been with us
difference
3-4 years, and they go through like a slump, and then somebody brand new comes in and closes the deal in like 2 days.
You want to know why? It's all mindset. They come in there hungry. And then, you know, you go through a tough day of 30 days. You have to look, you're in the micro, you got to look at the macro. We're always in granular stuff. It's all about energy and positivity and relaxation. By the way, you have a very calm energy about you. Have you always had this kind of calm energy? I could see you kind of processing in your head. Have you always been like that, or early on in your career, you talked about some fights and different stuff early on? Has Don always been kind of a relaxed demeanor, and how do you get to that level of calmness?
I mean, Mike Tyson said it best, you know, it took a lot of violence for me to be this calm, you know? Obviously, you know, can be a hothead or whatever, but I mean, it took a lot of time for me to become patient.
Don't you see that as a very like calmness and tranquility about you?
Yeah, but it's just like, I mean, it's like, there's just like a lot of clarity, you know, a lot of growth and humility, you know, through my life that kind of brought me to where I'm at. And I'm sure anybody can kind of relate to that. But I think, you know, for me, it's just like, I'm a very, very aggressive person, very persistent, right? It's just like, if I want something, I'm going to make it happen.
Like,
you know what I mean? Not by any means necessary, but damn near close to it, right? And I think the biggest thing that I've learned was, you know, sometimes it does require patience, you know, and sometimes you don't get what you want right now, but eventually you will.
Well, this game is about delayed gratification. I don't care what anyone says. You might get lucky in 2 weeks, not lucky, but you have a different mindset, and you pick up that deal, you display, you make your 22%. But the reality is, you got to put in the time. You got to be patient. Nothing comes overnight.
Yeah.
What I like too about you is you set big goals. Like, if you set low goals, you're gonna go nowhere quickly, you know. But you shoot for the moon. Worst case scenario, you're gonna hit the stars. You got a huge goal here. 30 markets in 24 months.
Yep.
That's more than one market per month?
Well, you know,
massive blitz scale.
I think once we get to five offices, you know, I'm gonna, you know, obviously that's why I'm doing podcasts, because I have a plan, right? So it's just like I was out of the scene for a good 12 months, and there's a lot of reasoning behind that. I didn't do podcasts tonight. I mean, obviously this guy knows. He's like, come on the podcast. I'm like, I'm not doing pods right now. I'm not doing speaking events.
I've been trying to get him on the podcast since,
you know, I was narrow focused.
November.
I was narrow focused on my internal company. I'm the type of person that's just like it goes against all of my core values for me to collect money for education or something from somebody if my company is not profitable or if my company is not doing well.
I like that. Good for you. Because 99% of everybody else
they
does
do
the
the opposite, right?
Yeah.
And then the second thing is, what do I look like as a leader to my internal staff going out and collecting money and from education or what have you, speaking events or whatever, conferences, if they're not doing good? What do I look like investing my time and energy external from my company and my company's not being the best? And so I took time away from the space just so I could, you know, adjust to the market and adapt our company as we're going through these changes and making sure we're rocking. But I think most importantly is just like for me to enter back into the space, I have to come with a plan, right? I have to come in and support people because it's time to put people on. I mean, you've heard Robert, it's like a lot of people left the space completely. What does that mean?
More market share.
There's more market share, there's more opportunity, and it's time to put more people on. I mean, it's not just the real estate market that slowed down, the whole guru space, and there's less conferences, less podcasts, less activity, I mean, there used to be conferences three times a month.
I'm glad.
Where's everybody at?
It was too much. It was too much.
It was too much. It was too much. But it was just like, I mean, you can't fake it for too much. People aren't just gonna have, you know, 25 G's just laying around every 2 weeks, you know. So it's kind of like one of those things where it's just like you have to kind of prepare for what's to come in. And I know like once we have 5 markets, then we're going to be able to develop leaders within those markets to open up new markets and things of that nature. So.
Okay, so I got to ask you this though.
Hello? You just closed a deal on Investorlift for $100,000? Well, that happens all the time. I talk to wholesalers all day, every single day. And the number one problem they have? Buyers. If you're struggling with low assignment fees, deals not moving, contract fallouts, or having to consistently JV with other people, don't waste time, don't waste money. Come to Investorlift today and see how we can help you. Just click on the link right below.
Are you going to run them all from one office, have one mega office? Or are you
no, like we have a physical office.
You're gonna have a physical office. Okay, so what's your thought process there? Because my thought is if I were going to go do 30 markets, I would keep it all under one roof, because then you can build the culture. Not only that, you can breed competition between teams.
Yeah, well,
now I do see
it's
the benefit.
all fine and dandy. It's all fine and dandy, but you know, I've tried a lot of different angles. I've ran multiple offices before. You know, I guess for me, right?
Yeah.
It's very challenging to manage corporate politics under one roof. It's very hard. It's a lot more easier to branch it out. But it's also, it makes a lot more sense because you're hiring people from that delegated market.
They know
the area. They know, yeah, exactly. But
so I was gonna say that's the benefit.
That's the huge benefit. But I mean, it's just at Chase Bank, like they have branches all over the country on every 3 blocks. Like, why does it make sense to have, a Chase Bank over here and a Chase Bank over there, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with McDonald's. Or I know corporate, like there's a Toyota right by our office, and there's like 4 or 5 other corporate centers around the country. Why don't they put it all? I mean, because it's fucking war. These people will kill each other. You're talking about sales reps.
Yeah.
I've experienced it so many times where we had to put a sign up. It was just like, no fist fighting in the office.
Actually,
no fist fighting.
That's crazy.
What, over leads or like over
what?
No
fist fighting. Stop sleeping with the girls of the company. What else? I think those 2 things. I mean, when you're talking sales reps. Oh, no cocaine in the office.
Wow.
Like, these are real things, right?
Yeah,
and you're talking like high testosterone,
Alpha
girls
dudes.
and guys. Not just dudes, but like girls and guys, or it's just it's fucking hard to manage.
Yeah.
It's hard to manage, and it's just like then you like try to develop other leaders.
That's a
and manage
reality
your
show
team.
in the works.
Yeah.
All right, guys, here's the rules for the day: no fist fights, no cocaine, and no sleeping with anyone in the office today.
We had to put it on our new hire paperwork, a sexual harassment policy. Not just saying like our people are dogs, but like it happens. It's just like you kind of like have to start paying attention to these things. I'm like, it was like back in 2019 though, it's just like really hard for us to retain women, and it's just like, okay, now it's time to implement some rules.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just
That's
like,
so
and I used to get now like I just find it so fucking like I don't care how much you bring into the company or like what volume of sales are you doing. If you disrespect a girl in our company, you're fucking out. You know what I mean? I don't care how close we are.
Just draw the line. And
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it's just really hard to manage sales teams, big sales teams under one roof. I mean, it's just like I've tried the Wolf of Wall Street.
I do get that.
40, 50 people in the office at one time, and it's just very challenging. But it's a lot easier now. You know, we have an office in San Antonio, we have an office in Dallas, we're gonna open one in Houston, and so on and so forth.
All right, so I like your methodology, like do 5 slowly. I would say nail it, then scale it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to do 1 a month. Get 5 like running smoothly, profitable, figure out the quirks, and then expand from there. That's why I cut off sales on Investorlift.
Yep.
After the first month, I'm like, we got to nail this thing before we scale it, or our brand is, we're going to be a flash.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just like, we also got like the nail for events, you know, and RIAs. Like, I know that from the back. I mean, I beta tested in 6 different markets.
Yeah, so you explain that strategy, because I think it's a brilliant strategy.
Yeah.
I've been a part of it. Some of these events that you've done come out.
Like these, like the JV leads, it's not like we're going out. It's like, let me daisy chain your deal. Like,
no.
There's companies that do that, right? But our strategy is brand awareness, right? So it's just like, I call it in-person SEO. Is we try to sponsor as many events, local events as possible, and then we try to host our own event in the market, right? So we'll host a RIA, we call it the event, and you know, we'll invite as many people as possible to these events. But I mean, obviously, it's very strategic on marketing and how to market to find people that are active in real estate and things of that nature to come to the event. And then at the event, like obviously, you know, shaking somebody's hand is, oh, you just gonna leave me hanging? See, now we're friends.
Yeah.
No, we were friends before this. I've always
but
had
now
respect and
now
like you.
now we're officially friends.
I'm all about the belly to belly energy. That's why we
same
FaceTime the same
for
thing.
me. Yeah. It's just like it makes a significant difference when you're like, yeah, it's cool like being able to be virtual and selling deals over the phone. But I'm telling you right now, when we started doing events, like our sales reps, they would have, you know, 10, 15 deals under each other's belt with investors. They go meet them in person. The next day, we're selling them deals.
Yeah.
There's a trust factor. There's something about the
yes.
energy and face-to-face elements.
Yes.
Well, also, like, I mean, the event I went to with you, it was at the Virgin Hotel. Beautiful event space, beautiful hotel. You pack the room, which makes it worth it for someone like me to get on a flight and fly down there to go talk or to go sponsor, whatever. You brought in a lot of big names that are dropping real actual value. That's actually where I met Jacob Blank for the first time.
Who's Jacob Blank?
Right there.
I'm just kidding, Jacob.
Yeah, he lives in the building right beside
We actually
us
do a lot of business with Jacob.
Yeah?
I'm so proud of that kid.
So proud of him.
I bought his first deal.
I remember him up on stage with, you know, his little 19-inch belt.
For sure.
Like 17 years
Literally,
old.
his belt wraps around him 3 times. Now he's bulking up a little bit.
He did a great job. But, but you as the host of the event, that then positions you as the authority figure in that market. When, oh, look, all these people are flying in to speak at Donnie's events. Now, the business model of the events, you give the tickets out for free, right?
Well, we changed it a lot through the years. So we used to do the big ones, right?
Are you doing smaller now?
Well, yeah, but we're segregating it per the market, right? That's the first thing. But the free ones, like we did one at Komodo in Dallas, and we had like 2.5 weeks to promote it, and we had to cut off the free tickets just because it like we
too much
like,
demand.
I mean, people were waiting in line the whole time just to get into the venue, you know. So now when we do the big conferences, we do it as like we call it no limit conference, just because then I can afford to like get the big names and get the hotel, and then you know everything else is just profit back into the business. But yeah,
so
it's just,
what does it cost you in terms of investment to host an event like the one that I came out to?
$30,000, $40,000.
So $30,000. So your break even on that is real quick.
One deal, 2 deals of dispo.
Yeah, we do this. Yeah.
No brainer. Like,
but let's go back to this for a second. This is so interesting.
I'm thinking while I'm listening to you, I'm like, shit, why don't I do this with Investorlift?
You should. But here's the thing. So your model, of course, they don't have to have that interaction, right? It's already people. The deal was vetted. Because you're selling through your software. Yeah. When your reps are meeting buyers face to face, we got to remember, you're not selling pizzas where they're making a phone call and ordering, I want sausage and pepperoni. They're spending $250,000, $500,000, $1 million on a deal. I want to know you. I just want to feel your energy, make sure that I feel like you're a good person. There's a lot of money on the line, and we're not talking $10. That's why that handshake and that energy is so critical.
It's like a lot of people are still in the field, right? So our reps are in the office like 95% of the time, right? And I've learned, I was like, okay, why, like looking at our competition, they're meeting everybody like on their first deal on every deal, right? And so it's just like, how can we get in front of our people? And it's just like, okay, let's just do events once a quarter.
But also by you having a tangible office, I think is very strategic and good because it enables people to feel comfortable. When there's a lot of money on the line, you have a hard office where someone could walk in or bring an earnest money check.
Well, yeah.
It's a great strategic
No, we had to put
advantage.
locks on the doors. People are fucking crazy, but yeah, I mean, we have an office because it's a sales office. Like I run a sales company.
I get it.
I mean,
that's why you're successful. You understand that a wholesaling company is a goddamn sales.
Yeah, I have a sales team. Like I have an office because I need a sales team.
But you're also a real company with, you know.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we're a real company.
No, but I'm making the point where people want to meet somebody or they're bringing a check. It's not like, hey, you call me from Florida. Hey, I can tell you this, the likelihood of me buying a deal from some guy calling me from Jacksonville, Florida, and a deal in Arizona is slim to none. They don't know anything.
Well, yeah, I
about
mean,
the
it's
deal.
just like, there's a lot of different situations. Of course, we have buyers that like to come, to the office or whatever, but I think most importantly, it's just like the time that the reps spend with buyers is just like, once the deal's assigned, we have a team that supports that, like our transaction team, right? And then as soon as it's assigned, the rep's on to the next deal, right? Because we have so many deals that have to focus in time. We don't have time to meet everybody. Literally, it's just physically impossible.
But if you just meet them my point is
that's
one
why we have
interaction,
events.
that's it.
That's why we have events.
Because you shake
That's why we have
250
events.
hands
And
in
then
one
you're
night.
good. I met you one time. I already know he's good. I haven't seen you in 10 years or
Yeah.
however long. I'm like, Donnie, I can
But
think
we
about
met
you.
in
I
person,
remember the
right?
thing. Yeah, there you go.
So
On the ground SEO, I
mean,
love it.
that's why we have free events and we have paid events. Okay, now it's time to put people on, give them education, and learn how to find deals, and eventually they might move a deal or two through us.
Yeah.
That's our
Now,
philosophy.
do you do education?
Not right now.
Not right now. Did you in the past?
Yeah.
A little bit?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was running it. I mean, I did the conference in 2023, and then we did close to $2 million in upsells, and it was just fucking a lot of work.
You're the move that could be really powerful. So as you scale into these other markets, first of all, I'm guessing you're going to use the event strategy again, throwing these quarterly.
We already
events.
have it. We already have workshops. We have workshops.
Yeah.
We have high ticket. We have conferences.
The move would be, I think, you take Donnie, put him in front of a camera, the Don in front of a camera for 48 hours, brain dump everything that you know, throw that up on a server, give it to every single person that attends one of your events for free. You train them, but you're also indoctrinating them and building your brand. Because how do you build brand? To brand is trust. There's only two ways.
Yeah,
to
but
build
why would I
trust.
do that? I could just watch this podcast.
Yeah.
It's a waste of fucking time.
There you go. There you
Just Google me.
Have someone interview you on like.
You are.
Yeah, I know, but like I'm.
Why do
saying,
you think
like,
I'm
step by
here,
step by
Robert?
Step by step.
You're in
like,
production.
here's how
I don't
you
have
get
to
your
do
first
all
deal.
this. I just like, okay, fine,
So
Robert,
you
I'll
just do a
come.
bunch of podcasts.
You said what?
No, but I think if you get
You
if
want a course?
create
I have a
something-
course.
Yeah, okay.
I have a
so
course.
You
Yeah,
have
of
a
course.
course. Okay, I was gonna say if there's a course by Don,
I do have a course.
and you just give that out, then you're indoctrinating people, and then feed them into your funnel, and then
Remember when I told you I'm not the best at basketball?
yeah,
So I'm not the best at selling courses. I'm gonna be better, right, at the whole education thing. But I think most importantly, I think my biggest challenge is just trying to connect with people that are brand new, just because I've been in the space for 10 years.
yeah.
And I think that once we get back into that realm, it's just I'm gonna bring people that I know that are really good at coaching brand new people. Just because like talk about patience, like it's like really hard to. If you haven't got your first deal and you've been in the business six months to a year, there's a reason why, and it's probably up here. You know what I mean? And yeah, people need that, but it's just like I'm not like discrediting people that haven't done a deal before. It's just really hard for me, to connect with those people right now and kind of where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? It's just not realistic for people to come into this space, and a lot of people see what I have and what I'm doing, what my company's doing, and think it happens overnight. Like I've been doing this for 10 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nowhere near it happened overnight. Even reps that come into my office, I'm driving a Rolls, they're driving, obviously they have the cars before they, started with us. And it's just like, it's a very clear example of just like, I've been making money, millions of dollars for 10 years straight. You know what I mean? Every single year. So it's just like, it doesn't happen overnight, but eventually you stick to it. you're gonna start cashing out, and that's what happens. It starts to happen with the reps in our office and our leaders and so on and so forth.
So what's driving you every day? Talk about Donnie and not talk about, real estate or anything else. You wake up every day. What illuminates that hunger in your eyes? I can sense that competition, the ferocity. What drives you what pushes you every morning to get out of bed and be the best version of you?
Man, there's just a lot of moving pieces. I think the biggest one is, for one, being the best, right? And to satisfy my mission doing that, right? But I think for two, especially right now, there's a lot of people that do need help. There's a lot of people that need help. I mean, I hear it all day on the sales floor. It's just like, man, I was hearing a story with one of the wholesalers, and they're about to lose their house. They're about to lose their wife. It was fucking sad. Like, it was just like, my truck's not there. He's like, can you guys just advance me like my assignment fee? Like, it's clear to close. And it's just like, obviously we got to stick to our systems. Like, fuck no. Go get I'm not an asshole anymore, but that's what moves me. It's like, it's not like, like we're just making a bunch of money. Like, we're actually making a big difference on a lot of individual levels in the industry every single day, multiple times a day. And, I can only imagine, like, if I didn't stick to it, like, how many people would fucking suffer. Yeah. Imagine if I stick to it, how many people I could help. You know what I mean? And I used to be that guy. Yeah. I would struggle for a long time, and I want to fucking do a deal, and having somebody to step in, it's just like, Jacob Blanks will always remember you. Yeah. And people forget how powerful real estate actually is, not just from like the business standpoint, but from the individual standpoint with sellers. A lot of sellers are losing their houses. Yeah. Like, what the fuck? Who's going to help them?
This is such an interesting conversation. I was talking to my designer. I'm building a high-end spec, and her office is down the corner. And I said, hey, her name's Candace. Candace, how's business? She says, it's been the best it's ever been. Okay, I said, okay. The gym that I go to, you're surrounded by high net worth people all the time. How's life? Everything's good. Where'd you eat last night? Some fancy steak restaurant. Commonality. What no one's talking about is, hey, Zach, how's your business with your rentals? How are your tenants doing? There's a lot of people that are suffering out there, and no one sees it because they live in a bubble. Yep. And so it's about empathy and understanding, having these conversations in terms of helping these people. And we can control that, and show empathy and love and educate and help them survive.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, we're going to war. I mean, we're going to war over, I'm not talking about, I'm the podcast guy that's doing $250,000 a deal. I mean, we're talking $2,500 here.
No, I have people that want to move out of my houses for $100 differential on rent. There's a serious, monetary gap, wealth gap going on right now. And the lady who I'm speaking to, she only deals high end. Her stuff's multi-million. Zach, we're setting records. Things are good. People are buying it fully furnished.
In the Dallas
Candace,
market,
you're living in a different world than most people right now.
The middle class is getting crushed right now, bro. Yeah. In Dallas, it's clear as day on the market. Anything below 500,000 flies. Anything above $1 million flies. Everything in between, we're like begging people to buy it.
Yeah,
it's insane.
It's the cost of housing that has gone up. That's doubled. You look at, they're like, oh, the CPI. Guess what's not in the CPI? Cost of damn housing. We are, I think they said we're 5 million units short. Now, to understand how big that is, we've only, since the Great Recession, 2008, we've only built 4 million new housing units. We're talking about, we're short more than we've built since 2008. It's massive shortage. The only way to, people spend most of their paycheck on housing. You want to help Americans, you know what you got to do? Build, baby, build. Build houses. Build a shit ton of houses. That'll bring down the price of housing back to where it should be. The supply-demand equilibrium.
It's either that or people, we just have to put a law on people having sex. Having kids like they do in China.
Stop having kids.
Stop having kids, limit the amount of kids, But I mean, we know that's not going to happen. But I mean, the philosophy goes true. They're not building land anymore.
Yeah.
Right. But also, in playing your theory out, the cost to build, forget about the land's even more expensive, of course, there's a limited resource, but also the cost of labor and materials now is continues to climb. And even during Trump, everyone's importing all the stuff, the tariffs, things are going to continue to go through the roof. That's the problem. That's why housing continues to get more and more expensive. Even if they build it, you can't build it less than replacement costs.
Yeah. Man, it's just it's been a crazy ride, but I think, if you're entering into this space right now, or if you're in this space right now, and you aren't seeing like what is about to happen, if you're involved, is crazy.
What do you think is
crazy
about to
to me.
happen?
I mean, obviously the election, I believe in my philosophy is there's still going to be some correction over the next 12 months, especially as Trump gets into office, just because with change comes
Correction
different.
up, correction down.
It's going to correction down, I think.
Yeah.
Just for like a year, maybe a year and a half, but like summer 2026 is going to be insane. Like there's just no way. It can't be. 2026 is like a clear shot of a fucking win. And people that strap their boots on, go through the hard times and make some money, probably not the most money that you're gonna make in 2026, be fucking grateful. If you're profitable in your business right now, you're fucking blessed. If you can pay your bills right now, you're blessed. If you're able to pay your staff without having to get rid or lay anybody off, you're fucking blessed.
Yeah.
If if everything's good in your life right now and you're making some money after everything's said and done, you are blessed. There's a lot of people that aren't.
No.
People aren't talking about it.
Yeah.
I see it every day. Like everybody wants to be on these podcasts and talk about how much money they're making and everything good. It fucking sucked out here for the past 12 months. Where are you guys at? Like who are you fucking talking to?
And in Investorlift, we're making more money than we were last year.
Yeah.
A lot more. We're up 60% this year, but we have less users.
Yeah.
You know why that is? The big guys that had capital, they were able to stick through and survive the interest rate adjustments. They still got hit pretty hard. All of us got hit pretty hard. You got hit pretty hard. I like that you're actually out there talking about it and not like being like, oh yeah, we've always been doing great. No, we had a bunch of negative months. Like the reality is pretty much everyone did.
Man,
the bottom end got wiped out. We had massive compression on our entry level plan, like 50-60% turn there. But then the top guys started moving up because they started taking the market share. And now those guys that were able to survive are now doing better than ever.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's just like, I mean, regardless of, I mean, you guys can scrub that from the thing. It's just like, it's not about how many deals we're doing, how much money we make, and it's not about that at all. You know,
so
none of that
really
fucking
driven
matters.
by like having
real
an
impact.
Real
impact.
You think you're more impact driven than money driven?
100%.
Really?
100%.
Wow.
You know, if you think about it, it's just like if you can come into somebody's life and you can make a difference, that person will always remember you. I'll give you a story. When I was in 5th grade, I remember vividly. It was 5th or 6th grade. It was 5th grade. I wanted to play football, and my mom's finally let me play football because she was scared I'd get hurt or whatever. I finally convinced her at 5 years old, as salesperson as me, convinced her to let me play. She couldn't afford to, you know, buy me cleats. And I remember vividly, I'd be slipping and falling at practice, and a dad kind of realized one of my teammates' dad saw this, and a couple days later, he comes to practice with an extra pair of cleats.
Wow.
He gave me a pair of cleats. I'll never forget that guy.
Wow.
That guy allowed me the ability to compete.
Wow.
That gave me something. That was a huge impact for me on my life. And if somebody can do that for me for cleats, $30, $50, imagine a $250,000 house.
Yeah. It's crazy how those moments, he probably didn't realize what happened in that moment.
I could compete.
It's a set of cleats.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it.
And that instilled in you how just someone helping someone out can mean so much in someone's life. And then now think about all the thousands of people, thousands of real estate investors, homeowners, that because that was instilled in you, you're able to then give back and help them.
It's not even a monetary give. I mean, that always helps, of course, but it's also just mindset. I have to have talks with my tenants a lot of times straight up. I'm like, listen, I got to put you in check and have an honest conversation with you. If you communicate with me and let me know what's going on, and there's a mental shift that's, you know, like you talk about your salespeople that have been there for 6 years, they're having 3, months with no income, and someone comes in 2 weeks and they're crushing. It's a mindset thing. So if you can pull them out of those weeds, change their trajectory through proper motivation or words or a game plan, you could tell, hey, you teaching your business, that's legacy. I'll open my, people call me all the time, what are you doing? Here's exactly what I'm doing. Good luck. Here's the roadmap. All you got to do now is execute. It's up to you.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. I mean, I've seen it all. You know, it's just like I mean, we're in a spot in our company where we're just like giving Rolexes away like candy.
I saw that.
We were the first people in the industry. The first people in the industry to ever do that.
That's
You're
insane.
welcome, John, Joey, and Lawrence.
Yeah, if you got a Rolexes.
Donnie was the one that.
Yeah, it was
Crazy.
like
I remember a viral video that I'm like, what company is this? I saw that. Like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah. It's cool to see, but it's just like, can't really make it monetary stuff, right? Like, we try to position it's like you can earn it. It's even better when they can buy it themselves.
Yeah, for sure. The
It's
gratification.
way better.
Don,
just like you talk to your dude who's like, okay, let me go. You made all this money, go to Louis Vuitton, get what you want. It's probably way better feeling than giving it to him.
I think the fact that you're impact driven versus money driven, I think my confidence in you actually, I mean, if you get to 30 different offices, each one's doing, let's say on average 3 million a year, you're at 100 million a year. You're 100 million a year wholesaler.
See, it's not challenging.
But
I know it sounds
the fact
crazy.
that you're not going for the money, but you're going for the impact, doubles my confidence that you're going to get there.
Well, I mean, Robert, you have to understand. A majority of wholesalers out there are just direct to seller, 100% direct to seller. Could you imagine me coming to a company that's 100% direct to seller? Okay, I'll double your company. 2 days. And you don't even have to spend any money on ads.
I see what you're doing here. Okay, so you're going to do performance-based equity acquisitions?
Yes.
Brilliant. That's brilliant.
People are blowing my line right now. Let me open this market. Not ready yet.
Yeah.
And who else is in a position to be able to help somebody like that?
You got a proven playbook. You come into a company and say, hey, I think I can double you. If I double you, you're going to get
Not only just double, the purpose is just double.
Yeah. 10x.
Yeah, because if they double,
Why
they're
not?
break even.
break
If he
even.
comes in a company and says, I
Yeah,
can double,
people are
give me
like spending
50%.
hand over fist on their marketing and all this, which is great, as they should, But I mean, imagine having a B2B philosophy to it and a brand that's backed by you. It's just like, Keller Williams has the most agents in a brokerage. I mean, why can't we do the same thing in a wholesaling realm?
I like
But
that
also you
because
eliminate their sunk costs too. And a lot of people, they're scared about the spend. So if
Exactly.
you come in and you're like, hey, I'm going to cut all your overhead to essentially zero, there's no risk to them.
It makes you can't say no to it. It's like, that's why, my phone's like blowing up because of it. It's just like, we have a brand.
Let's transition for a second. So, you're the visionary, you're an executor, you get tons of stuff done. What does the day-to-day look like for you? How do you stabilize your mind, your calmness?
Yeah.
Do you have prayer in your life? Are you a God guy working out? What does the day-to-day look like to become the best version of Don?
It's just like I wake up and I spend a lot of time with myself. I have a son, obviously, and I spend a lot of time with family. And I think my faith with God is just so vivid and so clear. It can never can be challenged. People can take money from you. People can take cars from you, houses, girlfriends, whatever you want to think about. Any man, like anything on earth, somebody can take from you. Nobody can take what you know, your experience, and your faith with God. Only you. And so if you focus on just those three things, you eventually become unstoppable. I mean, it was challenging because I've had experience, challenging parts of my life where you couldn't just fix with money.
Yeah.
And it was very humbling, it was just very challenging, just because, when you're making money and you're going about it, it's just like, just money solves 9 out of 10 problems, but that 1 out of 10 problem that you can't solve with money, you learn how to solve that, then the confidence and the patience significantly just becomes so much better, right? And, you get to a point where you have all these problems in your life, money without money or whatever, but problems that you can't even go to anybody and ask because they don't know how to respond or they don't know how to help you. And for me, I just kind of realized if nobody can help me with these problems, I have to figure this out because somebody's going to have the same problem eventually. Me as a leader, right? And so then I realized I can go to God. And God delivers the answers. And it's so crazy how that happens is because like when God trusts you, with leadership and the ability, I mean, I'm his servant, like point blank. My relationship with God is between me and him, so I'd never use his name in vain. But I mean, without a doubt, I try to crack the code, the science behind my madness on how I'm able to be so successful. I have family members that grew up with me in the same house, worked the same jobs or whatever. And it's just like, it was stressful for me for a lot of years because I wanted everybody to win. It's just like, why me and not them? And I'm not saying people have a relationship with God or anything like that, but what I'm saying is some people have a gift of God, have that gift of strength and gift of leadership. And if you have that gift, never let God down.
Love that.
And it works twofolds. It's just like if you have a gift from God and you're favored by God, you could also be favored by the devil. You see that all the time. I mean, I know people that are so talented, that are just chasing girls, drinking all the time, doing all these crazy things. I mean, some of the criminals that you guys can think of that are probably in prison right now have the greatest gift and blessings from God, but they just chose to just choose the vices from Satan, the enemy. And so I've experienced both sides of it. I've walked through fucking hell on earth, and it was very challenging for me to step through that. But I've built, boots to sustain it. And so now it's just like, it's so much easier when I just choose blessings over fucking temporary gains from fucking enemy. You know what I mean? And I think what's about to happen in this economy is going to be amazing. I think what's about to happen in our industry is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And I think if you're active in this space, what is going to happen to you if you just stick with it and go through the challenges is going to be huge. It's just like there's so many different examples, especially in the Bible, right? What are you going to sacrifice for me to give you something, right? What are you going to sacrifice? I mean, is it money? Is it time? Is it, what is it going to take? What are you going to sacrifice? You can't just sacrifice nothing and just expect to get everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of what I live by,
Good for you. I walked in today and I hadn't seen you for a while. I give you a handshake and a hug. I nearly bounced off that chest. What have you been doing physically to enhance?
I don't work out as much as you. I know. I need to. I work out probably. I probably work out like 4 or 5 times a week.
That's great.
I did blood work a couple months ago and I had high cholesterol, low vitamin D. So I had to do an immediate audit on my health, and I started eating a lot better. Hired a chef, comes 6 times a week, 3 times for breakfast, 3 times for dinner. Makes a big difference. And I spent a lot of time with family. It's just like
You're always on IG with your kid.
Yeah, like
So
family's
sweet.
everything for me,
Yeah.
man.
Mini Don.
Holidays are coming up. I'm so excited, but it's just like, I'm a huge family guy, but it's just like my circle gets smaller, and it's just to kind of look around who to trust, who not to trust. And you don't like how people move sometimes, but and my family is just like, it moves me, But I think most importantly, it's just like, man, it's like the real feeling of unconditional love is just irreplaceable,
Nothing beats that.
Yeah.
We were talking about the other night. I'm like,
100%.
Nobody loves me in this world more than my son.
I'm trying to convince Zach to go find himself a nice wife and have some kids.
I could never.
There's not a higher ROI on happiness.
It is
I'm
so
sure.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I want more kids. Well, anyways.
Yeah.
So, we're all about, giving life lessons. People walk away listening to this, enhancing their lives from a mental, spiritual, physical standpoint. What words, as if you're speaking to Don Jr. out there, your son, you're on your deathbed at the end, can you convey to the audience of things that you've acquired thus far in your life? You've done a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You've come from, the streets pretty much and grinding.
Not the streets?
Not the streets, in a tough
Yeah,
situation, not the streets, but you've come from a tough socialization. You've taken care of yourself, you've grinded, you've learned a lot of lessons. What other things do you think are important for people to hear, to know about you that can enhance their lives?
Man, it's just like, if I'm talking to a younger version of me, I was a menace, right? I wouldn't really care too much of what people would think about me. And I had to learn that sometimes you can get sued. Yeah. But I think, yeah, it's just like how
We
people
graduate from fist fights to lawsuits.
Right.
Yeah, it's like building a brand
no
and
fist
not
fights,
caring.
no coke, and no sex in the office today, but done.
Yeah, building a brand and also not caring about what people think don't really go hand in hand.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not saying be a fake person, but I think just have a little bit more kindness and a little bit more patience with people, just because everybody's story is different and everybody's journey is different. You know, for me, I was just like, I went through fucking hell, and I'm making it happen, and you have the stars and the rainbows, and you're just a fucking bitch. And me having to take a step back and realizing that, you know, everybody's story is different, and some people just don't have like true gifts from God that I do, or abilities, you know. So I just say have a little bit more patience and kindness within people, and I would say, you know, bet on people a little bit more. You know, take a chance. Take a chance. You know, when I was in my journey, I've been betrayed in business, and it was challenging for me to like trust other people at times, and it was just like I knew there was like something holding me back. And you know, I think the biggest lesson that I've learned is the lesson of forgiveness. The lesson of forgiveness.
Yeah.
That was huge for me, and learning how to forgive and just move on and just understand that it's just it is the way people are built sometimes, and there's nothing that you can do to change it. The only thing that you can change is whatever you're doing right now for yourself.
Yeah.
You know? And that's what I focus on now. Is just like, how can I, you know, move the needle, you know, for our people in our community and our industry, and keep it moving. And if people don't you know, do whatever, it's just like, it is what it is. You know, they're going to experience their karma in their own sort of way. So good or bad.
Yeah.
I like that.
So yeah, I guess that's my little 2 cents to the young Don. But I think if you're watching this and you're still watching this, shoot me an emoji of an ice cube, just so I know you're still watching, because I want to have a conversation with you, because I know you're committed, you're watching, paying attention, you're paying attention, and yeah, maybe we can collaborate or work together. But at least you'll be on my radar to who to be paying attention to, because hopefully you've learned something from this.
There you go.
If I made an impact on you, if you learned anything from any of these awesome gentlemen here, just drop me an ice cube. An ice cube. Because that's what kind of moves me, right? Is like making an impact. I love seeing it. I did a podcast like 2 weeks ago. I was like, I'll do it. You know, I'm back into the space. Like God was telling me, stop saying no. And I was like, all right, it's time to say yes. Man, there's so many people who's like dropping. It's like, okay, it's time. Like, people need help right now.
Yeah.
And hopefully I you know, helped you in some sort of way. Just keep it moving. It's gonna get hard. Nothing worth having is easy.
Yeah.
It never is. You know?
People are watching this. They have deals they want to move. I can vouch you're always consistent at the very top of Investorlift on Dispo.
Me and Robert are
submit a
great.
deal to you?
I mean, yeah, just go to our website, Equity Cash Offers, shoot me a DM, or, you know, my company Instagram. We can help you out. But I don't think people realize, like, me and Robert, we collaborate in a lot of different ways. Not just in lawsuits, right? But it's just like, his company does awesome for us, and it's just like, vouch for your company too. Because I mean, I'm sitting here right now, I don't know how many leads we've generated, or sold or whatever. But I mean, Investorlift does help us a lot. I'm very thankful for it. And yeah, I had to beg and fight my way tooth and nail.
I made one exception, that was you.
It was a good exception.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's just like, I mean, if you're thinking of hiring a dispo manager, just hire Investorlift. You know, it's a great start, right? Because you know, yeah, it's like spending $3,000 a month on labor versus $3,000 on software. $3,000 on software.
Yeah,
makes a big difference.
Get 10 times output. Love it. Well, it's been incredible being a part of your journey.
Absolutely.
Since that first phone call.
First phone call and the next one.
Google me, bitch.
Damn, you remember it vividly. See, you know, the impact that you make on people is just like, man, sometimes I do have to.
What's my people like? You would never believe the call I just had.
No, it's just like, I was like, for me at that time, I was like, bro, like, you came to my event and you want to act like I'm not like anybody, like you want, like, I felt like I was like belittled. I was like, how does he not know, like, we do deals?
My thing is, I always try to not make exceptions. Like, one thing I'll never do is charge different people different prices. Yeah. Like, oh, I heard so-and-so is like getting a different price. I'm like, no, everyone pays the same. Like, I always try to treat everyone the same, no matter what. Of
course.
So when I said, hey, there's a wait list. There's a wait list.
Right.
But you did have me out at your event before that, and I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah, there's another time where this dude is just like, I was like, wow, this dude is, you know, when people run softwares and stuff, I mean, I guess I can say it off camera, but like this guy.
You say it on camera.
I say it on camera? No, it's like one time, I don't know, I snapped at his team one time for my own short-temperedness, and they I obviously had a I don't know, I was just like going through it emotionally. But anyways, I apologize about that. But anyways, I like log into this account that I didn't even know it existed, and there was like, I don't know, $20,000 or something just sitting there from referrals. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't even know I was an affiliate of these people, of Investorlift. And it was just like, dude, that's why he does so well, is because of how honest of a person he is. Like, people would just drop my name in getting the service, and they just set money aside for me. That was insane for me to see.
We have call trackers that anytime anyone mentions your name,
That is crazy.
it gets slugged to you.
That is crazy.
Every
amazing.
call we say,
So if you're watching this, Zachary Keeps, and then, ice emoji to cool this guy down and just put, nah, I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just like, when people need help, I was like, Investorlift's a great tool, it's just, it's not even that I wanted money from it before. It's just like, I had started a mastermind, a high-ticket mastermind, and telling people exactly what was working for us, sending it to him, or sending them to Investorlift because it's what we use. And I didn't even ask, like, I'm the type of person, I don't ask for anything. I don't want to be an affiliate of nothing. I don't want to sell your shit. If I use it, I'm going to tell people about it, right? Yeah. And that's kind of what I did.
Same. I
have the same philosophy with your SEO in the real world. My own thing is, I'd way rather pay my users that are getting success, give them a gift back, thanking them for bringing in more business, than go give that money to Google.
For sure.
Google and Facebook already make enough money.
Yeah.
I want to reward the people that are having tremendous success with the system for spreading the word to other people that can have tremendous success with the system. So appreciate everything. You're an absolute OG in the business, a legend.
Thanks, man, I guess. Now everybody's out and people are just entering. So I guess we're one of the old heads. Like when we were entering his space, it was like, what?
Yeah, we were the nobodies.
Sean, what's his name?
Sean Terry.
Sean Terry was an OG when I was entering. Nick Reese was the OG.
Jerry Norton.
See, I didn't really. I wasn't on YouTube, so Jerry. I know
was
he's
the king
huge.
of YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
He always has been, always will be.
And there's a lot of goats, and now people are entering the space. It's like now we're like one of the old heads. You're kind of old right now, but now you're on the internet.
Dick Party of One. Dick Party of One. Food's ready for lunch.
He's like
Ruffin.
the old head, but now you're getting into the limelight and seen, and you understand it's more than just shaking hands, like being seen on the internet and stuff like that. And you're on a TV show now, which is fucking huge for you, bro.
Yeah.
Dropping next month.
When I first met you,
3rd,
when I first met you,
3rd.
when I first met him, man, it was many years ago, and I was just like, who is this guy? He's like, I like his persona. He's just like, easy to get along with. And then somebody's like, he has like this huge ass mansion on the hills with like an affinity pool and all this, and has like 200 rentals. And I'm like, that's why you have to be kind and nice to everybody, because you never know who you're going to talk to. And shout out to you and your humility, man. And you've always carried that. That's so awesome, man.
Look, all that stuff comes and goes. It's about these relationships. I respect everybody. Just be a good person. At the end of the day, we're gonna be friends. Have good energy. I don't care how much money you have, you don't have, what you do. Just be a good, calm person. Good, kind person. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love
Appreciate it.
Well, Donovan, I gotta thank you for flying out here.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome to come back anytime.
Yeah, I like
super
Scottsdale.
Excited. Well, first of all, very thankful to have been a part of your journey and your business.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited to see where you go in the next couple of years.
I know where he's going. The top of the mountain, baby.
You're going to
Well,
be
we thought the franchise. We've considered somebody offered us like $250,000 just for our Houston, just to use our name in Houston.
Yeah.
And then obviously we kept a huge percentage, and I was like, why the fuck would I do that? We could do that in a month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. The growth, not the franchising, but the growth, expansion into other markets. Guys, if you've enjoyed this episode, make sure to DM Donovan Ruffin an Ice Cube if you made it this far.
Put it down below too. Ice Cube and DM.
No, don't put it down
directly.
below. You have to listen to it.
DM and drop it down in the comments.
Or maybe
below.
in like the little clips that you do. Yeah.
Love it. Guys, if you enjoyed it, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode.